Hiya, Paul. Thank you very much for joining me today. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm alright, thanks, love. Not too bad
Very
at all. Bit nervous,
nervous.
but I'm alright.
That's fine. We like it. You know, nerves are good. Nerves are good when you're talking about something that's passionate that you're into. Nerves are good. It's fine. So, you're fairly well new to the spiritual world, and I saw one of your Facebook videos about how you got here, which really intrigued me. And I quite like the way that you are your natural self. Your story's fairly raw, and I'm just wanting, would you share your story with us today? How did you end up getting here today?
Yeah, so basically, everything started when COVID started. Obviously, a lot of videos started coming out around COVID and stuff like that. And me and my mum both ended up getting a rheumatoid arthritis around the time COVID came about, which I found very strange. But going from there, and my mum was really bad with it, and then I ended up getting really bad with it. I got to a point where I couldn't even get off my bed in the mornings and stuff like that. And I'd seen a friend of mine, Kia, who was doing really well in her life. She was doing sound baths and spiritual stuff, and I was really drawn to it. So I went to see Katie, and I just started dipping my toes in there, at the sound baths and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And starting to feel into it because I was going through a lot of addiction as well. I've been on cocaine for 20 years, maybe more even. I was probably having my first lines when I was 13. Really? The addiction really took off when I was 16, 17, and I'm 37 now.
Yeah.
Um, so I went into a process then of trying to change and trying to understand everything. But to be honest, with the spiritual side of it, I didn't believe it, but I believed in Katie and I believed in what she was doing. And I remember her actually saying to me one day, "Ask your guides for help," and I was like, "She's fully lost the plot." But do you know what I mean? But I understand what she meant now, but I didn't have a clue at the time.
Yeah.
But then what happened was, Katie said to me once, "Why don't you come to this thing I'm doing in Portugal? No, like an energy workshop."
All right.
Stuff like that. And some of us came over me, and I knew someone was pulling me there. So I went with Katie and a load of other people, and I think it was the first night. We had like an energy workshop in a room where Katie's doing the bowls and stuff like that, and everyone just lies down. But for me, there was no lying down. As soon as everything started, I was just rocking backward and forward. My head was burnt out. My body was burning up. Feels like healing, all the energy coming out. And I was hearing like a lot of chit chat in my head. I was just holding my head thinking, what is going on? Um, and I come out of there, ended up sat on the roof of the place we were staying in, like a villa. I was just looking up at the stars. I was up there for about an hour on my own, just confused, thinking, what was just happened in that room? Basically, I was having a massive awakening.
Yeah.
And while I was up there and I kept looking up, I was just looking up at the stars and I kept hearing in my head, streets to the stars, streets to the stars. It was just on repeat. I was thinking, why do I keep thinking that? But at that time, I didn't realise that that's coming from elsewhere. Um, until the process is carried on and I come home and things have progressed the way they have from there. Because when I come home, I didn't follow it much. I was straight back on my drugs for a few months.
Yeah.
And then it got to a point where I'd had enough again. And I was really confused. I was thinking, what's going on there at Portugal and what's I've got to find some answers. So I was working at the canal on the time for the Canal River Trust. I've been working for them for 20 years, or I've had 20 years since I left school. And I just felt like I should start trying to meditate on like at work on my dinner. So I did. I was just sitting under trees or just lying down, closing my eyes in the sun. No, like I'm just telling myself I'm meditating just to see
You
where it goes.
in your mind rest a bit.
Yeah, and then one day, three things flashed in, and it was connected to my friend who lives across the road. So the three symbols that came in, one was a symbol of an injured person with blood, and then a grass hill like this, and then a picture of my Mrs. Laura stood in the kitchen. And I opened my eyes, I was really freaked out by it, thinking what's going on, what for the scene. So I phoned Laura in a panic saying, don't go out of the house, I feel like something's falling off this tree, like, because it was, I thought it was aimed at Laura, and I was thinking, because a lot of bad's gone on in my life, something out there's going to make bad stuff happen to me. That was the frame of mind I was in, because I didn't understand anything at that point. But then about 2 hours later, while I was still at work worrying, Laura phoned me back and said, "You're not going to believe this. One of my friends, Mrs., had been run over at the bottom of the grass hill outside the house and was in a coma." So obviously, the spirit had showed me that
Yeah.
before I got the news from Laura. The reason why I opened Laura in the kitchen was because she was the one to phone me and tell me.
Yeah.
And I went into a bit of a meltdown, man. I was ringing Katie, panicking, like, oh, what's going on? And my pineal gland opened then in a really big way. And I ended up with a black eye and everything through the stress of it all. It was all that hard on me, and the awakening itself, and how powerfully this opened as well. It was like my end was just gone. It was
Yeah.
really, really hard time in my life. As well as
It's a lot, isn't
the
it?
drugs.
It's a lot to deal with when, like you say, you're going through life, you're a bit, you've had some hard times and stuff. You're in pain through the arthritis, you're on drugs, and you're like, I'm trying to get myself sorted out. Spirit are obviously desperately trying to work with you. That is a lot in it. It's a massive amount for you to try and process in your head.
Yeah, especially when you come from my life as well, like the the street life, basically, the drugs and everything else. And I've got a very big family, a lot of friends. I know a lot of people, and everyone's just proper closed off, just like I was closed off. And it's took me a long time to even get free to my family. Everyone that our Paul's losing the plot or whatever, whatever. But I think a lot of people are actually starting to understand me now, and are seeing what I'm doing and coming into it. I know we've got a group of lads who I'm getting pretty close with now, who I've not seen for years.
Yeah.
They were all helping me so much. And everyone's helping me. I've got a mate, Curver, in a shopping Stadebridge, just been at Ealing Gardens. He's been there for me, as well as Kate and Jonna, and a few other people all the way through. Another friend, Jamie Lee, who was spiritual, who spirit guided me to her because I'm friends with her boyfriend. There's been so much guidance for me to all these people who have helped me along the way, and they were still helping that. It's always out of my hands. It just happens, and you're like, wow, the synchronicities in it all the time. And then
That's you sort of, the spirit and the universe will put you where you need to be. So if you need to be around certain people, they'll make it happen.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I just tell us about your Uncle Stephen.
So, oh, as soon as you said his name, I thought to me.
Yeah.
So basically, sorry, one sec.
Don't be sorry. Don't take a minute. You're right.
When when I had when I was doing the psychic work was first developing, I went for a reading myself because I was confused. And when I was there, I said to the guy doing my reading, I couldn't believe how much he knew about me. I rang him off a different phone, even though I was having visions and everything. I was paranoid he was going to be fake, and so I rang him on someone else's phone, only giving me first name. That's the way I can do it now. And so I've gone for the reading, and before I got there, I was very like getting tuned in. And when I got out at the car park, I just knew I had to walk down the street. It's like sometimes you get them knowings, don't you?
Yeah.
So I did, and I carried on walking until I got to where I needed to be. And I got past this building, and I thought, I've gone past it, turn around, big number 76 on this door, which was my uncle's flat number on his door. And we'd spent years together at the flat, drinking and just living life, and we lived there together with my nana for a while. It's pretty mad house really over the years. But that happened. I got a 76 and I thought, oh, I bet that's my nana. I bet she's guiding me thoughts to come through today. And then I went and sat in a cafe in the indoor market where it was in Lee. And a white feathers just like it's floating in front of me in an indoor market. I'm like, what is going on here? So during that reading, I said to him like, what's going on with me? What am I meant to do? What you're meant to do? What you do? And he's like, yeah, you are, but you've got a long way to go yet. You've got to go on your journey and let everything unfold for you. My nana come through, not happy basically because on the day my nana passed away, in her last few hours, she held me and then asked me to stop the drugs for me, my missus and my kids. She like literally, there was her last words. Will you please stop what you're doing? I want to go knowing that you sorted. And that never worked. I was kind of like, I left though, went to watch the boxing on with a few mates. I think it was Floyd Mayweather at the time. I can't really remember the fight. But anyway, I was on the drugs and then my mum thought me to go back because my nana had passed. And I had to go back on hold though while I was drugged down my eyeballs. That had a really negative impact on me, that. And then I went really bad for about 5 years. I was probably on the sniff every day then.
Oh yeah.
So she come through anyway, moaning about that, trying to get me on track. And then he also told me that someone close to me was going to pass and he was going to have like a really big effect on everything for me. And I thought it was going to be my granddad at the time. I was really nervous. I was ringing my granddad like 3 times a day. And at this point, he was like listening to me talk about the psychic stuff. And he's like, he was very confused. But he was like, man, you keep ringing me, you're worrying the life out of me. This, that, the other. And then the day came when my brother phoned me, and through what had happened is my cousin Jade, Stephen's daughter, had phoned my brother David and said, can you go and check on my dad or get someone to, or ask Paul to, whatever. Because he'd phoned Jade that morning because it was her birthday. And go and check him because he said he'd had chest pains. But he didn't say it in a way where it was like really bad, he just mentioned it. And I was saying to David, oh, it's our Stephen, he's tough as all boots. He'll be round the corner on the piss somewhere or something. Yeah. So I ran to the flat and I couldn't get hold of him. So I broke through the window in the door. And as soon as I noticed the key in the back of the door, I knew something went right. So I broke in and I run in his bedroom and he'd had an heart attack and was on his bed. And I didn't know at the time how long he'd been passed, but I just jumped on top of him and was trying to pump his heart and stuff. And then the ambulance come in probably 5-10 minutes later. And I was just on top of him, dripping in sweat, trying my best. Yeah. And then everything just went from there. But the thing was, when I went out of the door, it was I sat on the edge outside. I ripped my top off and all. I was sat there. And I looked back at the door thinking, why? 67 it was, not 76 so far. Why have I got that wrong from the day of the reading? Yeah. And it's because every time I was with Stephen on the Denver, there was I'd always ring the taxi when he's sending me home to load the kids because he was always trying to get, because he only drunk at his bike. He was off the drugs for years. He was always saying to me, go home, son, and the kids, you've been here 3 days. You're off your head and not slept. And when I'd ring the taxi, I'd ring 76 and he'd be going, it's 67, you cranny. Like, so there's the message in that. Yeah. But what I didn't understand at the time was like, why spirit would do this to me. I was blaming spirit at the time because they showed me this was going to happen to me from the reading and from the synchronicities of the number on the door, and I didn't understand why I had to get put through this for my journey. Like, lose probably my closest person on earth. So feel like a right pusser. Crying. But yeah, so I've probably spent about a week in the flat then on my own. I had a couple of people visit. While I was just drinking. I was going a bit nuts, to be honest. I had a pile of cocaine in front of me. And I didn't think I was going to come out of the flat. I thought I was just going to finish myself off in there, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
Even though I've got kids who I love. It's pretty selfish, but it just is what it is, isn't it? When you're looking at me in my mind, that's where you're at that point in time.
Yeah.
But there's no stopping that. If that's where you are, nothing's getting in the way. Now you're heartbroken and all that. It just is what it is, isn't it?
That's it. When you've lost somebody so close like that, there's no, you can't, sometimes you can't see a way forward. You can't see that, well, actually, if I just think about this, I could, there is none of that. It is just as deep and as dark as it is at that time, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. But then, so what happened then as well was I'd been telling Stephen about my journals, because I've been telling him, you probably the main person I was telling, and then he was actually starting to come round to it and starting to understand it a bit more and listen to me a bit more. And I told him about the journals because I've been keeping journals because I was having a lot of my visuals at night when I was laying in bed relaxed before sleep, and then I'd open my eyes and write them down or voice recording to myself because what was happening was what I seen would happen the next day.
Yeah.
And then I'd be learning to make sense of it and stuff like that. So about 3 days into a 3-day bender with the dog, I'd had some sleep that night, well, that morning. And then me and Stephen's dog was just together in the flat. I went and got us a kebab. I was rough as anything. I was sat on the couch with the dog, and all of a sudden I just felt that weird in the room, and I thought I could feel him in there. And I was like, sat down and I said, Stephen, is that you? And I obviously no reply at the point, but I just knew he was in the room. So the journal popped in my head because the day before when I was drunk, I'd actually gone to my house where I'm bored and the kids are, took the journal and went and got myself a load of drugs and went back. And I put a journal in the kitchen cupboard because I was thinking of reading it in there, but I didn't have the strength to read it in there at that point in time. But something was pulling me into the kitchen, so I went in. And as soon as I put my hand on the journal, as soon as my fingers touched the journal on that cupboard, the dog was behind me. The dog was making weird noise like, woo, like something was happening. I felt the room temperature drop straight away. And then as soon as I turned around thinking, what's happening? I just felt bang right through the centre of my chest. I fell to the floor like shivering. I had tears in my eyes. I knew it was him. And I knew he was hitting me through the heart, saying, "Keep doing this. What you're doing. Keep going with it, and get out the fucking flat." Sorry for the language. Before you end up dead, basically. I didn't listen to that bit of the going out of the flat. I stayed in there a few more days until I was called up again. One of my cousins actually came that morning, was outside, and I was that cold up I couldn't even go to the door. I left him out there and got in Stephen's bed where I found him. And I had a really bad anxiety attack in the bed that morning. I felt like he made that happen to me because it was like a really bad anxiety attack. And I went and jumped outside. And I'm not like, this is what I did. I jumped in my car without even thinking and drove to my house because I thought I was having an heart attack. And then I was in the shower for about an hour. And then that night, going to bed with Laura's lay with her arms around me. My heart broke. I actually had a visual. I jumped up off the bed and she's like, "What's wrong?" And the visual was me on the bed having the anxiety attack. And it looked like it was from the corner of the room, with someone watching me at the corner of the room, which I believe was Stephen showing me that he was in there and he was trying to get me out of there because he could see exactly where I was going.
How amazing is that?
Yeah, and so like every since the moment he's died, everything he has done from spirit has been guiding me through and through and through, pushing me to become this better person
Yeah.
and the family man who I've always wanted to be, which I've never got to because of drugs. And now he's switched that all up for me. a lot's happened since. It's been 2 years, 2 weeks ago, and I had all my cousins here for his anniversary and everything. But
Did you? Yeah.
I didn't even touch a beer, you know. I thought to myself, do I have one beer to like just like a cheers up to you? And everyone else is having a beer. Well, not everyone, but a few. And I thought, you know what? That's not me anymore. I need to stand in my power. I'd not even have that one beer because I don't get anything from that one beer anymore. You know.
No, it's not that. It doesn't give you that buzz anymore, does it? It's, you've moved on. You've leveled up. You've gone past that point.
Yeah, that's a good one. I felt like you'd be a lot more proud that if I didn't have the one beer.
If you didn't have it, yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I went with.
But how amazing is it that, even in the worst times, I feel it's amazing that you've recognised a lot of support from spirit side, even in the darkest times.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So how I always feel like when people say things like, they don't believe in spirit or they don't believe there's life after death or anything like that. I mean, listening to you talking, you can't possibly not believe that. Do you know?
Yeah, well, I couldn't believe what was happening to me. He used to say, I was so conditioned, so, so, just so lost. You actually don't even realize how lost you are.
No.
Till you have your awakening and come from it. Like a few of my cousins, people I love, I was still lost in that place, and I'm just trying to get through to people, and a lot of people are falling out of my life because it's just not on that vibration anymore, and I've had to let quite a few people go. Do you know what I mean? Just like not contacting them anymore and stuff like
That's
that.
it.
Because it's just if I can't help them and that's not helping me.
No.
'Cause I can't be around what they're doing and all that type of stuff. But anyone who does come to me for help, I'm there for them 100%. Don't care who it is. But until the time right for that person,
Yeah.
that's where they're at that point in time. They're on their own journey, and hopefully in time, I just want people to start listening.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on behind the scenes in the world with spirituality. There's a lot there. The people who run the world, if you ask me, are just absolutely took the royal piss
Mm.
in my eyes. And if I feel like one of my main purposes is with the psychic stuff is a lot of spiritual people say the journey is about you, which it is, yeah. But I believe it's about waking up as many people as we can. I see the suffering what everyone's going through. I've been through all the suffering, and now I just want to try and get as many people as I can onto the journey, or at least knowing it's there. So, because the world's got to change, and it look at the state the world's been in since COVID, and it's getting worse and worse and worse. The world is, I've never seen it like this. It's mental.
It is mental. And you say, I'm totally with you on that. I totally agree with what you're saying. One of my biggest things is I want people to just at least try and open up a little bit to spirit. You don't have to work spiritually. You don't have to be, doing all this weird and wonderful stuff. If you can just acknowledge that there is energy around you, there's positive energy around you, there's guiding energy around you. And my one thing is I want people to do it without fear. So I want people to be able to say, do you know what? I had a little bit of a feeling the other day, and then I sort of had a knowing about this, and I just knew this was happening. It was really strange, but I'm okay with it.
Yeah. Well, I've had a lot of messages lately of people saying they want readings, but
Yeah.
scared of it. And
That's
there's
it.
nothing,
Right, the
there is never anything has come through me, anything bad. The last 5 readings I've had 3 for lads, which I'm happy about. It was all a lot of women. And then I put it out there for men. And a few lads have come, which has ended up forming a bit of a group of us now.
I love that.
And every bit of guidance that came was because I don't want to get the messages through spirit. I get the live guidance as well, and
Yeah.
it gives them direction.
Yes.
Direction, and 2 of the lads, that was arrows pointing up. Whenever I see arrows pointing up, that's connection to the divine.
Yeah.
And I've done a reiki on a couple of lads, And when I do the Reiki out on people, I'm very good at opening people's energy up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and everyone who comes in, they feel the body tingles, they feel things being pulled out, you feel goodness going in, and it really opens them up and clears them out for a clean, fresh mind. And a few of the lads are doing really well, which I'm finally happy about, because people haven't been listening to me for a while. And to see these lads doing so well and wanting to make these changes makes me feel good and makes me finally feel like I'm doing all everything I've been through. I've made the right choices, and I'm on my path, and I'm in where I'm meant to be. Now I'm seeing that I'm helping other people finally. And all it took was for me to go public with the psychic work, because I was hiding from it for so long, what people think. But I'm at a point now where I'm not even asked anymore.
Not even bothered.
I'm finding some like real power in that now.
Yeah.
And I'm just being raw with it and getting on with it.
I think though, if you stay your authentic self and you um speak your truth, you end up where it just feels natural. So as you speak it, it's like saying, well, I went to shop for a pint of milk and a loaf of bread. It's just normal. I found when we go just it back to saying that, you found that people fell away. I feel like when I were like, well, I say when I was going through my awakening, I think we're all continually awakening because we're always awakening to different levels, different energies, that sort of thing. We're always leveling up, we're always developing. Um, and I found that people like even my sister, I don't hate her, we haven't had a massive falling out, but actually, you just find out that actually you're just different, and where you're going and where other people's your directions are different. So it's not friendships that people have had for like 20 and 30 years naturally fall away. And I feel like people think that's frightening. And it shouldn't, because you're just escalating.
But sometimes you need that separation needs to come in. Otherwise,
Absolutely.
you're not going to go where you need to go.
Yeah.
Well, these people are blocking that. But obviously, I want everyone in the world on a journey, especially council estates. I want everyone. I feel like I need everyone on the council estates to see it for what it is. You don't need to follow it, but why can't you show the kids it and change
Exactly.
for the generations to come, so that
Coming up.
generational shit's not there for the drink and
Yeah.
but no. What we do now, the choices we all make now during this awakening, what's happening, will affect our kids and their
It
kids.
will.
They should be knowing about manifestation and being able to bring into reality what they want
Yeah.
and stuff like that, instead of the shit we've all brought up with from through my era.
Yeah.
You get what I mean? That I
Totally
spent
get you.
years working on the canal, and I feel like it's not been a waste of my life. It's been a big part of my journey.
Yeah.
But now I'm moving through life on my own. Don't get me wrong, I'm struggling with money and everything. So I've never been at this point.
That's it.
But I'm staying true to it, because I know it will come good for me if I do. And I will even I'm not even bothered about money. I'm As long as I've got a comfortable living in my house with my
That's
husband
it.
and and it'll come from there. Like when it's right. It's a bit of a struggle at the minute. But
Thing is, I know what you're saying, and money's energy, isn't it?
yeah,
So if you're putting out the right energy comes back.
yeah,
And you'll know that what you're putting out will come back to you tenfold. Now, I don't have you as a material person. I know it's nice to have stuff, but as long as bills are paid, like you said, kids are all right, your missus is all right, it's all right, isn't it? You've got everything that you need for that time.
wow.
So as long as we are all working from, I always say, from the heart space, then what we're supposed to have will always come.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
But I want to just go back to you. Like I have this thing where I came from council estate. It is what it is. But we were always told that you don't aspire to be out else. You live out council estate. Almost like you're a second rate because you're a second rate person because you come from council estate. Do you know what I mean? And I always wanted more. I always knew that there were going to be more, and I wanted to achieve. And But my biggest part is I can go into a room now with people and my counsellor state comes straight back in where I'm like, no, stop it with that. I don't like that. Don't be fake with that. Stop. Be real about it. Whatever you're putting out, be real about it. Don't like, we don't have to fit into somebody else's box to be ourselves.
We all are ourselves, aren't we? Which is what
That's
I
it.
struggled at. I struggled thinking I was going to change about all this and go a bit like into spirituality a bit too deep. But I'm in spirituality deep. But I say remain the same person. The only thing that's changed me is I'm a better person. I'm not an addict. I love my missus and my kids more than anything. I have put my missus shamefully through a lot of shit and their kids over the past 20 years, and they're the biggest regrets in my life. These are the people that I love more than anything in the world, and I have so much shame for everything I've done and stuff like this. But I know I'm going to spend the rest of my life making it right enough for them. So yeah, and I think spirituality needs to be kept more street in a way. So it's totally agree. We understand that we can all do this, all make these moves into it, and still remain who we are, and all start standing together. We all need to start standing together. So to make these changes for our families, for all the people we know, and really start digging deep into it and feeling into it, so we can start standing together to change it, change the way the world is, because it's a process in it. The world's in a process of it, and it needs to. We all need to start listening. Otherwise, it's we're up on all bollocks, if you ask me. Sorry for the language again, but we do all really need to start listening.
I think you're on the right. I definitely feel like your work though, like, when you say like bringing the men together, because let's be honest, there's a stigma about one coming from a counsellor state, one being a man that is in touch with spirituality. That there is stigma around that.
Yeah.
It's not about, sorry, I cut you off then, but it's not about like, I think some men feel like it's all about feelings and all about, airy fairy stuff. And it's not about that. It's just about being at peace with yourself sometimes.
Fixing your life.
Fixing yourself.
That's what it'll bring you, is all peace. That's all I want now.
Yeah.
I crack on, I get up, and at the end of the day, I just want some peace. I don't want to go and get a beer. I don't want to go snooker and have a line. I don't want to watch the football and have a line. I used to love fishing, carp fishing. I used to go sleeping in the tent 3 days a week. And it got to a point where I was sitting in my tent, sniffed up for 3 days.
Yeah.
I'm in a tent on a fishing lake on my own, like, absolute pottiness. I think the paranoid rats are out there, like, with your toys and all that. Do you know what I mean? But that took that away from me. That the addiction took the fishing away from me. It took a lot from me, but I've started fishing again now, weirdly enough, through guidance from my uncle.
Oh yeah.
From which is a story for another day. Guided me back to going fishing again, and I've been actually throwing a bit of fishing back in my life again, which I feel good about. So it's brought me back to everything really, from lost to where I am now. And the men, I feel like I've gone through everything I've gone through with the struggles of wanting to follow it, so that other men one day will see it and read it and follow it.
Yeah.
Because they've seen what I've gone through to get to where I am.
Yeah.
And there has been a lot there. There's been a lot. There's been a lot of emotion, a lot of recovering, a lot of darkness to work through. There is no light without the dark. So you have to you have to just keep digging deep. Like with the mountain, we might as well talk about the mountain now, Amber.
Yeah.
That video. So when I went for that first psychic reading, I'd been having visions of a blue angel on top of a mountain top, and I didn't get it. I was seeing it every day. So I said to him, do you know what it is at all? Because I'm confused by it. And he said to me, that's where you're going to meet your spirit guides when the time's right. And I was like, well, all right, then I'll just go with it. He said, just let everything unfold to you when you go. Like, I can't tell you everything. You have to go on your journey. So that, right, all right, still a bit confused. And then one day I woke up, I was on my way out of the bedroom, the sun was beaming through the window, and I'd been walking up this cliff in Dovestones on the sunset on the night, 'cause I was not to try and not, in the times I'd been already on the drugs, go walk for the mountain and stay and watch the sunset to keep my mind focused. And then basically I went up there that night because I come out of bedroom, as I walked out of the bedroom, I just heard as loud as anything, "Go to the cliff tonight." And I was stood there, he stopped me in my tracks for, what the fuck was that? Was that me? Or what? So after, I was thinking in the car, I was on my way to get my cousin Jake, Stephen's son, to the gym, because we were supporting each other a lot. After Stephen passed away. So I was on my way to get Jake. I was at Hardwick McDonald's, and I pulled up at the lights, and I was thinking about what had just happened when I walked out of bedroom, thinking, did that just happen? And then all of a sudden I felt a pull right, and I looked, there was a white feather floating here, just like in position next to my window. And then the back, I got hit in the back with a chill, and I heard again, "Go to the cliff tonight." So I was shitting myself really, thinking, oh, I went home, told the missus, and then I headed up the cliff that night, and I sat there for about 3 hours with my journal, reading through things, trying to understand why am I on this mountain. There is other things that play out I won't talk about, but in a nutshell, I went up the mountain, the book with my journals, and I was thinking, right, this is where I'm going to see Stephen, because he said I'm going to meet my guides, and I'm hoping it's Stephen, and then I feel like I'm going to see him tonight. So I sat there 3 hours, nothing happened. I come back down the path here. I was about to walk down the middle. I had a few tears in my eyes. I was pissed off. I was shouting at the sky, why has nothing happened? Because nothing had happened. And I was devastated. So as I've gone to walk down, right as I took that first step, I heard go left, because there's another section going up here. So I went left as I heard it, and then I stood at that edge, and weirdly enough, that edge, when Stephen passed away, one of the nights, a few weeks after, I ended up on that cliff edge and sat there and cried for an hour because I was going to throw myself off. And luckily, spirit actually came through to me when I was on that cliff edge. Through me psychic stuff, I seen a few things happen when I was there. A few things flashed in, which actually stopped me from Stephen from throwing myself over that edge when I was sat there crying. And then, so I stood on that edge there, thinking now it's still happening, nothing again. Sure, I meant to walk off. Heard as loud as clear as day. Turn around. I turn around, and right as I turn around, the clock's just like some gold over on the edge, a bit to the left. And I went over and got it. And as soon as I picked the rock up, it said on the rock, "Steve, love you."
Did it?
And then I just fell to the floor with the rock and broke down in tears, just holding the rock for about 10 minutes, looking at the sky. And weirdly enough, I was crying. And when I was crying, I was saying, I'm sorry, or to whoever up there, because I knew why I'm being led there. I knew through some stuff what I was doing wrong with my life and this, that, and I knew Stephen's message was stop doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
And get back to Lord and the kids. Do you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
then I come to the bottom of the mountain with that rock, and I realised I had Mum and Dad written on it, and I thought, oh shit, someone else has left this rock there.
Somebody else was
Dried it up a bit. And then I would turn around to walk back up. And weirdly enough, as I turn around to walk back up, I noticed the ridge line of the mountain is exactly the same as the ridge line from the guy saying, that's where you're going to meet your guides. The ridge line is exactly the same from my visions with the Blue Angel. And I know now that angel is Archangel Michael, who I work with every day now. And them two are my main guides, as well as my Nana Brenda. From time to time. But Stephen and Michael, Archangel Michael, being my main two guides. It's just since then, like the connection with Archangel Michael is mental.
Yeah.
I have a very funny relationship with him. One day I'm screaming and shouting at him, going through my shit, and he makes things happen in my life for me to learn from.
That's it.
That's they made quite a lot of hard shit happen in my life for me to listen from. But I've got a really good connection with him, and I work with him on a daily. I go to a development class once a week where I work with Michael,
Yeah.
So I won't talk about it now, but I am working on what I'm going to be doing with him in the future at the minute.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just everything's just cut really coming good now, which I'm happy.
Good.
And I'm happy to. The addiction's still there, them thoughts don't really go away.
No.
I'm coming still a lot, but what you find is you get a lot better at kicking them out and going.
That's
piss
it.
off.
Once you've set that
Nowadays,
boundary. Yeah, as long as you're
one fight, I used to sit in the car punching myself. Like,
Did you?
if I get out of my head,
Yeah.
but now I could just go and piss off.
Yeah.
Like that.
That's it. But as you're evolving and as you're getting stronger, you're obviously, you're able to deal with it better
Yeah.
or quicker. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just you can kick it straight out rather than it sitting in there. You used to sitting there for hours. I'd go in the car, I'd drive off, I'd sit in the car, twiddling my phone, thinking, oh, what am I going to do? I'm going to end up doing it. I'm going to do it. I know I'm going to do it. Panicking like mad. And then, but now I'm just like, no, go away. I'll go and ground myself. I'll go for a walk. I'll go for a swim in a reservoir, which is what I'm doing a lot with these lads at the minute. And then or even if I'm on my own, I'll go jump in a coat and go have a cold water. Just do everything it takes. But you find now that you're enjoying that more than you're enjoying the drugs.
Yeah.
To get in my car, go for the quick walk with kids and jump in a lake, for me, is amazing now. That's
It's a total mindset game, isn't it?
where I find happiness in that.
Yeah.
And the kids find happiness in it. The missus does. They find happiness in seeing where I'm at now
Yeah.
compared to where I was. Because they've seen me in some really dark places over the years, especially the last 2 years since Stephen died, where everything's falling into place now. And I just want to keep doing what I'm doing. Just follow the guidance every day and let it keep going.
Yeah.
And I'm really looking forward to the future, as I'm hoping people start opening up more, listening more, and just helping as many people as I can, because that's what I'm here for at the end of
That's
the day.
it.
What you learn along your way is as well, while you're on your journey, you learn that you've actually come here to do this job,
Yes.
to live the life you've lived, have your awakening, get your story out there, and help as many people as you can follow the same thing, follow the same path. Help them, help the kids, help everyone to bring everyone to bring it together.
Yeah.
Start getting on it and improving your lives and helping as many people as you can all jump on the same thing. That is how the world will change in the future.
Of course it will. And like you said, I like the way that you talk about, for kids, because, you know, I did a lot of healing when my kids were younger. Well, I say I've done a lot of healing since my kids, I've 17-year-old twin lads. And I do a lot of, I've done a lot of healing since they've grown up. And I was talking the other week and I was saying that there's part of me wished that the lads had seen me at a more healed version than what they got as growing up. But I also feel like I'm now in a position to show them that actually, if we do the healing, this is what it looks like. I can help you with that. I can help you process that. I know what that means. One of my lads is very much into spirituality. The other one is massively intuitive, but it's like, oh no, it's not for me. But it's just that help to process. And like I said, especially lads, girls as well, but especially lads, because there's this stigma that they've got to be this strong male that don't cry, that ain't got a feeling, ain't this, not affected by all. And I feel like we've got to help the children that are coming up now. Let's help them process their emotions. Let's help them process that think there's no wrong with them. Things are happening. It's like we've got the crystal children and stuff like that. They're all coming of age now where, they've been sent here to do all sorts of different things. And we've got to understand that spirit are trying to evolve our children as well as ourselves. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but children, I think the next generation are the most important, because the choices everyone makes now during this awakening, what's happening all over the planet, the choices we all make now are the choices what will affect our kids.
Yeah.
So, and the world's dividing in it when you look into all the 3D, the 5D.
Yes.
We won't go into that 2D, but the world is changing, and everyone, in my opinion, needs to be on this side. the fight, especially if you come in from, I mean, it's good for everyone, but coming from my kind of background, you know, I would never in a million years ever want my kids to go through the shit I've through. I'd never. And you know, it takes a real man to show his emotions as well. Like for your sons, you know, lads need to understand that, because holding it in does do no one no favours. Either a lot in from my own childhood and stuff what's affected me for years, and it never got me anywhere. And now I've gone on the journey. It's all come up and it's all been cleared out. And now it don't really affect me. You know, it's there, I think about it, but I feel better from it. Yeah, like I've forgiven a lot and I've healed a lot, and it's just, it's out the window now.
Yeah.
No, I'm not holding on to anything. It's cleared. It's not stuck in me cells like it does. It's not stuck
That's
in
it. It's moving.
It's in the past, and then it's gone. Trying to live in the present as much as I can at the minute, because even now I still fall in there a little bit, and I have to recenter myself with the right. Stop doing it. You're living in the past. You know, the ones you're living in that past, that's what's got to grip you.
That's it.
It's so important to not live in the past. I've been through quite a hard last few months going through that with my relationship as well. And, you know, even like all the guilt in myself, feeling guilty for all the shit I've caused. When Lauren's like, you know, I forgive you, you forgive yourself. But it's different when you're coming from the one who's caused it.
Yeah.
Especially when it's the people you love so much. But, you know, it's there now, it's gone, it's done. It's been in a really good place. We're actually getting married in a year.
Ah, yeah.
29th of August, according to my guide, through something mad will happen. So it will be that date. Something will fall on the way for it to be that date. So it was usually a year, 2 days ago. So I was running around the outside, 1 year today, love.
Yeah.
You the that person's. I think all she's ever wanted is to be happy with me, and for me to love her and her love me. And you know, I asked her like, why have you always stuck with me over all these years? You know, I was sniffing cocaine every night in the living room and stuff like this while she's in bed with the kids. And she was like, because I always knew that there was a better person in you just waiting. And you know, now that I've learned that me and Laura have lived many lives together, learning from each other, keep getting led to the Infinity Eight, and we've had past lives in Egypt together and stuff like this. Now I understand why she stayed, because she had to stay. I'm wanting to stay for the love she's got for me, and ready for this point in time, man, for us to really start living it together after all the shit.
Yeah.
Now comes the bud.
You see, that's obviously her life path as well. And you're part of her life plan, her soul plan. But I must admit, when you were speaking about her earlier, I were getting like, I knew you'd bring her into conversation later on, because actually, she's obviously been a massive anchor in your life. Do you know what I mean? She's obviously kept the soul part of you. Hey, don't it's making me bloody emotional. The soul part of you that is for your greater good. She's obviously anchored you here, hasn't she?
Your strength is probably the only reason why I'm still here. Like her strength, after everything, that she's still there. You know what I mean? Wonderful.
She sounds like an incredible woman. I'd like to meet her at some point.
She is. She is.
So, right. So you offer readings and Reiki at the minute.
Yeah. Laura does the Reiki as well at the minute.
Laura does Reiki as well.
Massage and stuff, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, perfect. So,
Yeah.
if anybody that's listening thinks, you know what, I'd like to go and have some Reiki and a massage with Laura, or I'd like to go have a reading with Paul, where would they find you? How would they get to you?
So I've got an Instagram page, Streets to the Stars. So on Instagram, it's Streets, the number 2, the Stars. Also on Facebook, it's Streets to the Stars, but with TO
Okay.
instead of the number 2. they're probably the best two places. I'm also on TikTok as well.
Oh yeah.
So people can, it's all Streets to the Stars on all of it right through.
Okay.
Laura's on as Laura Baylor, but you contact us both through it. Actually, we're trying to turn them pages into like a business page for people to come and get the help and stuff like that.
Brilliant. I'll tag your page on the podcast, so if anybody wants to find you, they can. Paul, it's been amazing speaking to you today. I've properly, thoroughly enjoyed it. We're gonna have to have you back
I
for
have.
part 2, though.
Yeah.
We'll have to have you back for a part 2.
Oh yeah, definitely. There's a lot more there. So
Yeah.
we need about 3 weeks on a podcast with this. You get all like that. Hopefully, well, one day I keep following my guidance and something will come.
Yes.
I believe it'll be a book, and then there'll be a lot there for people to understand. And hopefully, I just want everyone to start listening. That's my main message.
Yeah.
Please, everyone, just watch this video and listen, and really try and accept it for what it is.
Thank you very much for joining me today.
Okay, thank you. You too.
Speak to you soon.
See you later, love.
Bye. Bye.